Hi my little shardies, welcome and welcome back. This is Christina with Shhh Online. Today we're going to be coloring an image out of Coloriage Wild by Emmanuelle Colin. I'm going to be doing predominantly Neocolors. I may come back in when I'm done and add some Prismacolor, but predominantly this image is going to be done with Neocolors. So you're going to need a water brush or a regular clean paintbrush and water, a paper towel to wipe your brush off of, the Neocolors you're intending to use, and this tool just came in for me. I ordered it a couple weeks ago. It took a little bit of time for it to come in. This is the Caran d'Ache Fixed Pencil 0012. I'll put a link in the description below. But this is to hold the Neocolors in so you don't get them on your hands. So today will be the first time I'm using this to see if I like it. I will tell you it's quite heavy. I don't know if that's good or bad yet, but you press the button on the back and it opens up to accept the Neocolor, and then you let it go, and that's how you use it. I also have my Neocolor palettes that I made in a previous video. If you're interested in making some for yourself, you can pause the video and click right here and just come back when you're done. I will be using these probably as well, just to add a little bit of additional darker color. So the image I'm going to be doing today is going to be the first image in the book here, and I'm going to go ahead and zoom in a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and start with her skin tone. I'm going to be using Flesh. And I think I'm going to speed up the video in between the colors, but I'll let you know when I change them. The next color I'm going to be using is Salmon Pink. And I actually think I'm just going to keep up with this flesh here. Put that underneath. I'm going to add this Salmon Pink over top of it. We'll see what kind of color that gives us. Then I'm going to use pink. And I'm going to put some of that on her lips. And this isn't really a shadow color, so I think I'm going to throw in some purple violet where the deepest shadows are. Looks pretty, doesn't it? All right, I'm going to come back in with the Flesh, and I'm going to put some of that on her ear. Make sure to bring it up here. And then again, that deep violet in the shadow part of the ear. All right, now I'm going to come in to the leaves of the flowers here, and I'm going to use moss green on the darkest part. And I'm going to come in with light olive now, and I'm going to put that in the lighter parts. And I'm going to bring that right up into the darker green too. This is moss. I'm just going to put a little bit of that at the top there. All right, now for the flowers, I'm going to bring this purple violet, and right at the base where it's the darkest, I'm just going to throw a little bit of that there. And now I'm going to come in with some pink, and I'm just going to go up from there. I'm trying to leave plenty of room in the middle section of the flowers to bring the color down into, so I still get some really nice highlights. You know what? I'm so used to using these by themselves, I totally forgot to use my brand new holder. Come in with a little bit of carmine red. I'm going to put just a touch of that in her lips and a little more at the base of these flowers. Half the fun of using the Neocolors is kind of understanding what they're going to do, which I'm still learning. And then looking at this messy phase and going, how can you create something beautiful out of that? And then watching it go from messy to a beautiful piece of art when you're done. It's very fascinating for me. I think that's why I love mixed media, and I like the Derwent Inktense. All right, and for her hair in the darkest areas, I'm going to use some cinnamon. Don't forget about this little piece over here. I always forget about the smaller pieces. I'll be like all the way thinking I've done the picture and then all of a sudden realize that I missed some stuff. I can't tell you how many times I missed ears. All right, I'm going to come in a little bit with some raw sienna. And I'm going right into the cinnamon color. Now you guys may want to work on one little part at a time. I prefer on video trying to color it all at once and then using the watercolor all at once. And now I'm going to use some golden ochre, and I'm just going to pull some of that down, overlap the other two colors and just pull it in a little tiny bit more. Trying to keep the lightest color toward the middle where the highlights would be. And then in the eyebrow here, I'm going to do the cinnamon. For now, I'm going to do the light olive just to bring that color from the leaves. I'm going to do that in her eyes. Usually I would do a lot of colors, at least 2 or 3 in her eyes, and I probably will with colored pencils, but the Neocolors, it's hard to get into the smaller spaces, and I don't want to mess her eye up. So I'm just going to leave it at that for now. Doesn't that look like a hot mess? So I have all my base layers down now, and let's see what we get out of it. So this is a number 3 Matau, I believe, water brush. My cat stole my number 1. I don't know where she put it, so I usually like using the number 1 detail brush better, but I don't know where she took it to. She comes up on my desk at night and takes my stuff. So I'm going to start with this lighter area here, and I'm just going to pull it in to the edge. Come into the slightly pinkier areas. Really wanting this color to melt into each other. I'm going to do this cheek before there's like a really harsh staining line there. Move that pigment around, put it where I want it. Don't get upset if it's too dark or anything. You can go back over it again once it dries. And I think that part is going to wind up being too dark, so I'm going to add just a little more flesh in there. Come in now at her ear. I love the paper in these books. It accepts quite a bit of water. Don't forget to do this area behind her ear. And now I'm going to do that shadow area. I'm going to come along her jawline now. And only because I don't want to forget, I'm going to do this little tuft of hair that's right here. And the little tuft of hair that's back here. All right, everyone, we have the skin tone so far. At least that's the first base of it. Let me zoom in a little bit more so you can see. Again, you can now add another layer to this. You can go back over with colored pencils if you'd like. On to the leaves. So I'm going to start at the darkest spot here, and I'm going to pull down. I'm going to pull some of that back up in there, blend it out a little bit. I'm going to start with the darkest part here, pull up. I have a lot of water on this brush all of a sudden. I love the way these two colors, I use the moss and the olive green. I love the way it makes the leaves look. All right, I'm going to come over here. I probably should have started with this one. Definitely missing my detail brush. Probably find it under a couch or something. The last time I found it when she took it, she put it under the rug by her cat food. I already checked, it's not there. Come over here to this one. And if I wind up going outside of the lines just a little tiny bit, I'm not super worried about it because I'm going to be doing a background image on this picture. And that will cover it up. I'm probably not going to do that on camera though. So if it goes a little bit outside the line, you can just fix it when you do your background. All right, and next we're going to be doing the flowers. So I'm going to start over here. There's going to be a lot of pigment moving around. I'm trying to keep the darker part of the pigment where I want it and just kind of make a gradient out from there so it gets a little lighter as it goes. I feel like that would be a nice natural flower. You can go if there's a little too much pigment and with a drier brush pick some of it up. Alright, so the first flower is done. I'm going to come up here to this top one. I'm going to go down first with the color instead of up. I think I'll get a nicer gradient like that. I'll come back in and move the pigment around a little bit. Again, I'm bringing that color down before I bring it up right now. And then there's that dark purple area. I'm just going to try to keep that activated and generally in that space. Sorry, I have to turn this. I'm still very new at using these Neocolors, but I'm trying to figure out, I guess, my own technique. I know the object is not for it to, not to get a line, like a staining line, and sometimes I'm good at that and sometimes I'm not. But I'm not really worried about it because, again, you can add more layers once it dries, and you can add colored pencils. It would help hide that a little bit. I would prefer not to have any like super sharp lines. I'm just going to keep turning this. I also haven't completely figured out exactly how much of the color to put on the paper. I'm figuring it out. I'm getting better at it. I don't want to put too little so that you can't move the pigment around, but then I don't want to put so much that you don't get the varying shades. I like having the gradient effect. All right, on to the next set of flowers. All right, here's what we have so far. And now the last step is to do her hair. I prefer a detail brush for this, but I don't have one, so this is going to have to do. So I'm going to try to stick in my darker areas, and I'm going to wipe a lot of this extra pigment off. All right, and for this part, I'm going to turn the book. Sorry, guys. Have to be able to see what I'm doing. Right, and now I'm going to do this eyebrow. And the green in her eyes. This little piece I messed up right here, like right at the beginning. Let's see if I can't water that out. All right, that is all I'm going to do today on this image. I hope you guys enjoyed this Neocolor tutorial. Again, you can go back through and go right over top your Neocolors with your Prismacolors. If you want to add any additional colors, you can go through and do another layer of Neocolors on top of that. Just use the same colors you were using. I like it the way it is, so I'm going to leave it just like this. If you've watched this far, thank you so much. Also, please remember to hit that like and subscribe button. That way you're told each and every time I post new videos. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, color happy, and remember, shh, it's our little secret.